Okay, now for the elephant, we're going to choose a color palette. So for this particular project, I've chosen to stay with a certain color family. So what I'm going to be doing with the blanket and the headdress on the elephant is I'm going to be using these 3 green markers. You can use color pencil, you can use crayons, you could even use paint. It'll take you a bit longer, but I want to use markers because I think the colors will be a lot more vibrant, and it won't be as time consuming if I painted it. And then for the background, I've chosen to use blues and these lavender colors. So I'm going to start. Now, before we get started, after you've traced all your design, you need to make sure that you've cleaned it up with your eraser, and kind of scout out the whole background. And one of my cats wants to come in. All right, hang on one sec. So you're gonna finish erasing the background. Come on. And then make sure you clean up the eraser left over and then get started. So give it some thought as to what you're going to do for what part of the design. So and take your time. So for the larger paisley pattern, I'm going to be using this nice bright green. It's called key lime. And coloring in all the areas. It's usually easier, especially if the design is slightly smaller, to outline it first and then color it in. And I think it'll look really nice when it's all colored in, and it'll make the grays from the elephant really pop. I'm gonna wait till that dries just a bit and then continue on. Now also, before you use any color, have a test sheet so that you can test the color before you use it to make sure you're happy with it. And other suggestions for coloring is you could do the items, the article of clothing or embellishment on the elephant, you could do in warm colors, which would be yellow, red, and orange. And then for the background, you could use cool colors, which would be green, purple, and blue. So there are lots of options, or you could just color it very colorful. And it's really a personal choice. And instead of going from one color to the other, use the first color you're going to use and then start with the other colors. Now, to have it more coordinated, I'm going to be using these 3 colors on all of the elephant's outfit. You might want to do a pattern with the colors. Every other one of the color of your choice. focus. If you're distracted, it's easy to make a mistake. And I'm even going to do this ankle bracelet on the foot, or on the lower part of the leg. Okay. Now I'm going to use this lighter color. It's Margarita Green. And I'm going to be coloring in the background. And it's nice with the dark contrast and the lighter color. If you had other greens as well, you could use all the greens that you've got. And the design on the outfit of the elephant is a lot tighter than the background design. As you can see, the background design is looser, not as tightly woven through as this particular pattern is. I also think using the markers, the color is a lot more vibrant. I like the difference with the softness on the elephant and the bright contrast. And it's a little easier to get inside those tight areas with the tip of a marker. And if you don't have a large range of different colors, that's okay too. You don't have to have 5 greens. Okay, let's go up to here. Continue to finish this pattern. Done, and I think I'll finish this off too. All right, and then the last section, I'm gonna color in these angle lines. Finish up this background here. Okay, when you're done, just take a look-see. Make sure there aren't any spots that you've missed. Go back in and touch them up. So that being done, now I'm going to start working on some of these patterns using this desert rose. And before you start using your colors, not only is it a good idea to test them, but kind of lay them out next to each other to see if you get a reaction, to see how you feel about the color combination. Don't be in a rush to get your work done just to get it done. Think about it. As you can see, I'm just kind of randomly coloring in different parts with this color. And not necessarily the same shapes, all random. But I want to move the color throughout my background. Not have it top heavy, and try to have some balance. Okay, take a look, and then you can start working in some of the other colors that you have. The thing is, when you're looking at your art, you want your eye to move around to see all of your piece that you've been working on, not just part of it. Clean that up a little. Okay. And sometimes if you're not happy with the color combination, there's nothing stopping you from doing it again. Do another drawing and try a different grouping of colors. Doesn't have to just be one piece of work. You can do several. And it just makes you more accomplished and practiced. Okay, may need to go back in. Okay, and then make sure you do a scan to see if you've gotten all of the pieces, all the designs in the in your artwork. And then I think I'm gonna go and use this green. Didn't do the tassels. So I have an additional green that I can add. It's more of like a blue green. You could, if you have a metallic pencil, do the tassels in metallic, which would look really pretty. Do these straps and take a look, see how you're liking it, and then work on the color for the background. And I'm just using one color. Now, if you had a larger piece on a bigger piece of paper, it would take you a lot longer. So you need to kind of think it through when you're working, and that's okay. You could break it up by just doing part of it one day and the rest of it another. And sometimes when you're working, holding your piece away from you gives you a different perspective. Since you're working very close to it with your coloring, you can kind of step back and take a look at it from a distance, and that gives you a completely different perspective on how it's coming out. And as you can see, I'm very careful not to have any white showing. I think it looks much nicer that way. And if you wanted to color in the toenails, you could use maybe a very, very light pink. Or you could just leave it empty, not color it in. Okay, and I think I'll just do the tassels last. And if you don't have a metallic, you could use any color you want. You could use a darker color. I think I'm gonna go with this bright blue. And you can't see the lines for the texture with the darker color. You could always go back in with a lighter pencil and add them again onto the tassel if it's too dark. Okay, and there you've got it. All right, well, thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week.